All right, this week on the betterhumanology experiment, it is Talon and I meditating. So there have been over 3,000 peer-reviewed studies that have been conducted on the topic of meditation and mindfulness. The research shows the practice can improve your general well-being, reduce depression, anxiety, and stress, increase productivity, improve self-control, and even change the composition of your brain for the better. However, even though it has all these positive effects, 90% of Americans do not meditate, but 0.00000000001% of Americans do meditate. That's Talon and I, and this week we did it. Meditation.
Boom!
Faster than a speeding bullet.
I ran until my muscles burned and my veins pumped battery acid.
More powerful than a locomotive.
An idea is like a virus. Resilient. Highly contagious.
Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound.
And today's episode is brought to you by betterhumanology.com, the free membership website brought to you by Into3 Fitness. Head over to betterhumanology.com and claim your free membership and get instant access to training programs, audio lessons, mental toughness training, ebooks, and more. So we did meditate this week, and this is our first Better Human experiment. So we are, putting it to the test. I feel like meditation is all the rage on the internet, at least. A lot of people talking about doing it, famous CEOs and athletes meditating and talking about it. And so I figured, this would is actually Talon's idea for our first episode, but it'd be a good thing for us to try out. And so we just finished our 7 days of meditation. That's what we wanted to put a test for a week and see what we got. And so I think we should start by kind of talking about our opinions of meditation. And I'll let you start, Talon. I mean, before you actually meditated, what were you thinking meditation was like?
Well, I had actually gone on believing for a long time, and I still do, I guess, that I've been meditating for several years now. But the way I've kind of done it is always just kind of close myself off, close my eyes, and then just kind of remember where I'm at. Remember that I'm living in the now. Try to put myself in the present. So maybe it's a little different kind of meditation. Not really focused on like breathing and things like that, which we'll talk about here in a little bit when we talk about the different kinds of meditation we both tried this week. But, I really thought all the, the ohms and the different types of, quote unquote meditations out there that we hear on, in pop culture maybe were really BS. That's why I hadn't tried anything like that. So doing this experiment was really eye-opening for me. What did you think about it before this week?
And likewise, this is not actually my very first time meditating. I did it some last year for a while. I've just never gotten in a good habit of meditating, but I would say before that time period, I was thinking probably like the extremist version of meditating with the whole, feet crossed on a mat, and
that's where I was.
Like all that stuff. So that was kind of my thought of meditation, and it wasn't until I was introduced to the app Headspace that I kind of got a different view of meditation, which I guess is a good time to talk about exactly how you and I both meditated. What system were you using for yours?
I was using the UCLA guided meditations. So it's from their UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center.
Sounds very sophisticated.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go the scientific route because, like I told you, I feel like I've been meditating for a long time in my own kind of way. So I wanted to go maybe the more traditional route that maybe a newcomer would come to meditation at. So I figured that would be a good way to start, and this would be the most legitimate route to take. But
so sounds legit. And I don't know if mine's less legit. I did go, if I don't know if it's an Android app, but it's definitely an iPhone app called Headspace. It's also a website. You get 10 days for free, and so that's kind of what I've done because I'm cheap and don't want to pay like $10 a month for the meditation app. But yeah, so I did Headspace, and it's just a simple guided meditation. You put your headphones in, and I think he may be British, very, very kind voice, guides you through a little 10-minute meditation session. And I mean, I really liked it. It's super easy, because like I'm just super busy dude, doing a bunch of stuff. And so having the app just made it really easy because I always have my phone on me. I always have my headphones on me. So it's pretty easy to do whenever I wanted. So
that's cool. You had a mobile option. Mine was always here in my office, just trying to calm down either at the end of the day or really start, my day. But
yeah, when we were like texting back and forth or whatever, talking about meditation, I was wondering how many hoops you were having to jump through to do your meditation because it sounded very official going through UCLA.
Well, they offer an online course, and we'll put the link down below in the show notes. But it was interesting to hear that you guys on yours you had 10 minutes on each because mine were very varied. I have like a 5-minute I started with to a 12-minute to a 19-minute, and I'd always try and add like 5 to 10 minutes of my own time afterwards on each one. So it got kind of long there towards the end. And it didn't get to like an hour or 2 hours, anything ridiculous. But
so very different experiments, as you can see. We have very different approaches to meditation. I just was tagging 10 minutes onto the end of my day, and Talon's, carving an hour out of his day to get his computer ready and tacking on his own time and all that other stuff. So that's cool, though, man. I mean, you definitely may have the more to talk about today, but I definitely did like meditation. I mean, we can talk about that. Overall, I liked it. So Talon and I both did it for a week, and we kept a meditation journal.
Yep.
And, where we can kind of know what we wanted to tell you guys about today through our little meditation experiment.
Which I tell you, it wasn't easy because when I got towards the end, I was doing the meditation for sleeping well option. And then afterwards, trying to write the journal entry, and taking about 35 minutes to write a journal. I mean, it was tough because some of these meditations are pretty strong, at least, that I was doing with this UCLA site. So,
dude, that's awesome. So, just so the listeners know why I'm laughing so much, is because we've been communicating about the experiment. We kind of got ourselves set up, and then we just went on about our lives, adding meditation. We haven't really been talking about it, and so this is the first time we've actually talked about it. And I had no idea how much work he was putting into it, which means I might need to step up my game for the next experiment. But I mean, I was following Headspace religiously, so I think it was a valid experiment. But so I guess having talked about that, let's go ahead and talk about meditation itself. I mean, you can start since you have all the wealth of knowledge, it seems. But you go ahead and start. Just tell me a little bit about your experiment.
Yeah, sure. So I can kind of walk you through kind of what I thought. I mean, when I started out, like I said, I really thought it was going to be kind of hooey because, I mean, when I first turned it on, the voice of the person was really kind of, I mean, like I told you, it's this legit site, UCLA, but the voice is very, I don't know, it sounds like your fifth grade teacher, like very monotone, like, heads up, 7-Up style. It's really hard to concentrate, and listen to. But so I started out like, oh gosh, because I just, trying to listen to somebody while I have my eyes closed and think about what they're saying and not what's going on during the day was really difficult for me. So, but it took me a long time, just about every night until, just maybe last night and the night before, really to settle down. It took me probably the first 2 minutes of a session or maybe 3 minutes of a session really just fidgeting or scratching, because I always tried it. I think I tried one night sitting in the chair, and every other night I tried it on the floor. I even grabbed a little chair cushion as a quote unquote pad,
Yeah.
trying to really get into the mode. But anyway, so you know, I would take this time to really kind of ease into it, and then by the time I really got myself comfortable and stopped fidgeting, I was really I missed out on several of the steps for the meditation. So really, it took me several nights before I was really kind of able to even master it. But I found out that I always felt better after every time I meditated, no matter what the session was. I mean, if it was for sleeping or for waking up or for one's called loving kindness meditation. There's one for working out difficulties. So no matter what it was for, I felt better afterwards. But it took me a long time to really just find that kind of that, I guess, calmness really to let the meditation kind of take hold. That was a real problem for me.
The zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I a very similar experience. I keep wanting to say experiment and experience, but very similar for me. Getting into meditation, it would just be crazy for me. So I have 2 little kids at home, and so it would be like, go through, the day, get home, dinner, all that stuff, and then put them to bed, and then immediately after that, okay, meditation time, I got to get this done. And so my mind was so crazy every time I would jump into meditation. So the first couple of days, it was so hard for me to just concentrate and like actually calm down and, get my mind kind of relaxed. And then I think by the third day, it was like finally, like day 1, it was like the last minute of the 10 minutes I would start to get some clarity or focus, and then day 2 was like the last 2 minutes, and then day 3 is when it started to happen a little bit faster. I didn't feel like I had to fight my mind the entire time to stop thinking so much. And I'm always thinking, I always have new ideas and stuff. I was just crazy.
Yeah, we're people. Yep.
Yeah, and it's just... So, I mean, it took a while, but it did finally get there. And, I mean, I did really enjoy it. Likewise, I did the dude reading through Headspace, you mentioned the voice kind of bothering you. I love the dude's voice on Headspace. I could listen to him all day, but the only thing is you said you tried different positions and stuff, and I think I was like, maybe I was late. I didn't do the... I think I missed like the intro video or something. And so I was listening to the first one and I was like laying down, and then he was like, okay, as you're sitting there in the chair, and I was like, wait, I'm laying down. And that just like kind of screwed up the whole thing, because like I was like, oh man, wait, am I supposed to be sitting? I need to get up, so I don't, it was a rough start, but it ended really well. I think the meditation experiment overall was a success because it just got better and better as each day went on.
Yeah. So how did you feel after you finish?
I would feel very like, I guess the word I'll keep using is like clear, like relaxed and clear. Like, and I'd have my eyes closed for the entire 10 minutes, and when I'd open them, it would just kind of be like, yeah, you feel a little bit more in the now, and my mind would feel less busy, and it just, I mean, felt really good.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing that I really experienced, that I really hadn't experienced before with the meditation that I've been doing on my own. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Is that before I just put myself in the now, and I'd just be like, okay, and it would just kind of take me away from like maybe like the day's stressors or other things I had going on. Whereas this kind of not necessarily just took it away, but kind of put like a happiness there, like a good feeling also, which I thought was really weird. I really didn't expect that.
Just the happiness feeling?
Yeah, the happiness feeling.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know if it really affects...
Almost like a warm feeling.
Like an emotional blanket.
Maybe in a sense you could call it that.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, just like a psychological blanket, kind of the same way, but just like, whatever I had that I was kind of worrying about even just a little bit. It's just like that's gone, and I feel like I can go to sleep with a smile on my face. That's just kind of how I felt because I did most of these, at the end of my day.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think an analogy I have for that, and I don't think anyone would get it, and I don't even know if you would get it because. So I've been doing this experiment with sleeping, and just trying to, and I don't even know why I'm trying to mess with my sleep right now because I have a 4-month-old and it's useless anyway. But there's this app f.lux flux you can put on your computer, and it makes it at night like really orange screen. And it's just really nice to look at, and you only know that it's, like if you switch to the blue light back to your normal screen real fast, it like hurts your eyes and jolts you back into reality. And I kind of, that's my meditation versus life reality is like constantly looking at that screen, and it's like, sucking the life out of you, but then you put that little orange filter on it, and it just, everything feels a little bit better and softer and nicer. I guess that kind of goes along with your head blanket theory.
Yeah. So it's an orange cover for your phone.
I guess we need to talk about it a little bit. So it's an app that you get. You can get it for. You can't get it for your iPhone unless it's jailbroken, but you can get it for like your Mac and stuff, or your PC, and you type in what time zone you're in, and then it will change the level. It reduces the blue light because blue light hits your eyes, and then that's what keeps you awake. So it puts like an orange filter over your screen. It's kind of annoying because it makes everything look orange, but you get used to it, and it's like super soft light.
Yeah, it gives you that happy feeling.
Yeah, and that's it's pretty cool. I mean, I like it, but definitely probably straying off topic a little bit. But whatever.
One of the things I found that was really, really interesting about this meditation experiment, like during the entire process, is that even though I really had this positive experience, like after each time that I'd meditate, and even though it took a lot of time, I really had like a positive outlook on the entire process. But as we kind of talked about throughout the week, just in chatting about how it was going for each one of us, very, very minimally. I still, like I told you, I still felt like I could. There's better things I could be doing with my time. Like every time I was getting ready to meditate, I was like, yeah, but I could just go to bed and I'd be in bed that much sooner. Or I was getting up, or I could just go ahead and start my day, and then I'd be jump start on my day that much sooner. So I know it sounds crazy that I had this great experience with it, but prior to doing it, each time I'd feel like hesitant almost each time. And if I don't know if I didn't have this experiment kind of hold me down, would I have continued?
Well, and you're doing the mega dose meditation here with UCLA. True. I think if you're doing the Headspace guy with me, you would have been like, "Hey man, we should just fly right through a month," But it's I do. In all honesty, there's no way I could have handled what you were doing, just because I'd have been like, "Nope, I got to do this, I got to do that," and that's part of the reality of this meditation is, yeah, it's great, and we both actually saw results from it. We feel maybe a little less stressed out, and better overall,
right?
But can we do it? Could you maintain that? I know if you build a habit over time, it becomes a habit, whatever, but is it something that you'd want to build into your daily routine? I guess that's kind of like the $1 million question. Is this something that you'll continue doing after this experiment?
Well, for me, I honestly think it's more of something I should continue doing. I kind of put it in the category now. I mean, even though I kind of went hardcore this week, I really think it's one of those things that I put in the category of like brushing your teeth or flossing or, washing your hair. Because I really think it's one of those things that probably does make me function better and make me more clear and probably think better and probably feel better even physically. So it's just not one of those things that you necessarily want to do. Maybe because, like I said earlier, like I joked about us being go people, is that I'm always kind of thinking and trying to move on to the next thing and come up with an idea for something. So it's hard for me to kind of shut that down because that's what it really feels like.
Yeah, and I think what you're talking about is like being next to brushing your teeth as far as something you do. I watched a YouTube video kind of in preparation for just some research on meditation in general for all this, and they're doing an MRI on this guy's brain who was meditating. So they did one MRI on him, and I'm not going to know any of the technical stuff exactly because I don't know exactly what they were monitoring in his brain, but they would take a picture of his brain when he was just thinking, and it kind of shows almost like hot spots in the brain, and it was kind of everywhere, like a lot of different parts of his brain was being engaged, being used, and then they did an MRI of him during meditation, and obviously this guy's like a pro meditator, does it all the time, been doing it for a long time, and it would get real focused to like one part of the brain. And I thought that was really cool that you can actually see and monitor what meditation does. So it's not really theoretical. Like you can see what meditation can do for someone over time and how much focus they can gain from doing something like this.
Yes. So was it, this is interesting. So was it opening up different parts, kind of like highlighting different areas of the mind that wouldn't usually be utilized?
See, I don't think they went into that much detail. It was actually a pretty short video. They were just kind of highlighting I think it's might be on the Headspace app, our Headspace website actually. So I'll find the link and put it in the show notes. But it was just showing how the brain is generally like being used everywhere, and then how he could kind of bring that mindfulness and really focus. So, yeah, I mean, so.
So go ahead.
You go ahead.
Would you say that it's something that we should do, or that you want to do, that you continue to do?
I think it's. Yeah, I kind of I agree with you in the sense that it should, but like sometimes with all that's out there, it's like, man, like I gotta draw the line somewhere, Yeah. I gotta eat this many vegetables, I gotta work out this many times, I gotta do X, Y, Z. And I'm not saying meditation is where I draw the line. I'm kind of on the fence because I really like meditating, and I do think it is something that people should do, especially people who are like crazy stressed out and like never live in the moment. I know a lot of people like that, and that's just like,
yep.
Like I think that I might be kind of good about just like realizing, being in the moment at times, like with my family and stuff, and realizing what I have, where I am, and what's going on. And I feel like some people are just like in a cloud all the time,
Yeah.
And so I think that it'd be really beneficial. But will I continue? I would like to say I will try really hard to continue, but I don't think it'd be a regular thing. I think it'll probably be like if I do feel like I'm getting a little too busy or stressed out or whatever, it's kind of like a tool I have in my toolbox that I'll use, as opposed to something I'll be doing on a daily basis.
Right.
So, as far as applying it to your life, I mean, what specifically do you think it could help you with? Just, like well-being or?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know for sure that when I focused it on the sleeping option, I mean, it helped me sleep better than I was nights prior. So, I mean, in that sense, at least for well-being, I could see it helping that way. But I really think probably more mentally and adding clarity is probably the way that I think it probably benefits people the most, or would benefit people the most. I mean, for me, since I've already kind of used that principle of put myself in the now, and I talked about in episode 000 about how self-reflection was a big kind of important part of my life and important to me. So I've kind of already been using principles that put me in a sense of mental clarity kind of often. So I think this is a great kind of either Headspace or UCLA, like the principles I used, are both good ways for people at least try out. If they want to try out a week or a 2-week period or whatever, to try out meditation for themselves and see if it would help them, or if it's something they would continue. Because as we both said, we saw the positives for each of us, and but we had been trying it before. So if somebody hadn't tried it before, maybe for them it'll make them a better human.
Yeah, and I completely agree. But one thing I forgot to talk about, you mentioned we've done it before, and the last time I did it longer, and I want to relate it to fitness, because it actually helps a ton in fitness. And something I'm always saying is to my readers into 3 Fitness and whenever I coach people is the importance of visualization and and focus and intensity. Some people just miss that. A lot of people just go through the motions of working out, but something that the Headspace app does, there's a portion through every guided meditation where he kind of has you focus on the weight of kind of feeling where your body's weight is shifted and the weight of your body on the chair and the hands in your lap, and just kind of really focusing on your body and realizing what it's doing where it is. And that, if you can really get in a good practice of that, it helps with a lot of fitness. Like when squatting, anything, it gives you an incredible amount of focus, and then being able to kind of shut everything else out and visualize what you're going to do and then just focus and do it helps a ton. Because the first time I started meditating, my main purpose was 100% fitness oriented, and I want to see how it applied there. The very first time I started meditating, because it had been recommended to me by a really good coach, and so I tried it, and it does help a ton. So I do want to throw that in there that I think meditation is huge for getting fitter and busting PRs, focusing, and really ramping up the intensity.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the physical side of what meditation does for you, because that's something I kind of want to talk about that I kind of forgot until I was caught myself looking through my journal notes here. And, on several occasions I did a body type of meditation, one was a body scan. The first one was the body scan for sleep, like I mentioned.
Yeah, he does the body scan too, yeah.
Yeah, and then there were several ones, body and sound, just knowing your body kind of meditations. And, in the notes I took, since body scanning wasn't a thing I'd ever done before, it was a really new thing to me.
It's like where you stop at the top of your head and go down.
Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. And, for me, that was one of the actually negative things, the only probably negative thing about meditation, other than the feeling about, I probably could be doing something better with my time beforehand. But that was probably the one negative thing for me, because when I did that, I guess since I wasn't used to it, and maybe since I only did those 3-4 times, it just made me kind of itchy and just think about not feel comfortable like I usually do when I was just trying to think about my breathing and think about what breathing feels like. It actually made my body and muscles feel itchy and tense, which I thought was really interesting.
So maybe
you
just came to a self-realization that your body's not actually that comfortable.
Yeah, well, that's probably what it is, sitting on the floor. But I thought that was interesting. But I do think that it has to have those applications. Obviously, if just puts you more in tune with your muscles and your body. I mean, there has to be some positive ramifications from that,
Yeah. So, what else, man? Have we covered it all?
Yeah, I think that kind of covers the gamut right there.
So, here's what we'll do. We talked about meditation, kind of, just to recap, it was a 7-day experiment of us both meditating and, journaling about it, and Talon went way off the deep end, and I did 10 minutes a day. And we're going to provide a bunch of links in the show notes. And the links and stuff that we provide, the resources that we provide on betterhumanology.com in the show notes of each Better Human experiment, probably one of the most valuable resources you're going to get, because even if we didn't mention them in the show today, it's going to be pretty beefy links and videos and stuff that you can watch, because we want you guys to try this stuff too, see how it works for you, even if you just do a short little 7-day trial, because I know in no way, shape, or form have we given a completely fair trial to meditation. We only did it for 7 days, and that has some faults in and of itself, but we got we got through the 7 days and kind of giving our experiment. Will we try it some more? Talon thinks it's as good as brushing his teeth, and I think I want to try it, but I won't do it all the time. So be sure to check out those links and, try it out for yourself. Do your own experiment and become a better human. And that it does leave us with the last question, the most important question for the Better Human experiments. And is it Better Human approved or disapproved? Do we think it could actually make you a better human? Talon, what's your take?
I say it's approved.
I'm going to go with Better Human approved as well. I think that meditation, when done, especially over the long run, can definitely make you a better human. Definitely worth a try.
Yeah, please try these experiments along with us, starting with meditation, because the resources we're giving you, like Jared mentioned, are going to give you those kind of building block first steps for if you want to develop meditation. That's something that you do on a regular basis. We're going to offer those resources right down in the show notes. So thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Until next time. Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Better Humanology podcast. If you want to know about any of the resources we talked about, head on over to betterhumanology.com and check out the podcast show notes. Likewise, we have betterhumanology.com/toolbox, where you can find every resource that we've ever talked about on the podcast. So go check it out. Until next time, here's to becoming a better human.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best.